We have wilderness experiences in our finances. Things tend to dry up. Seems like we're just not getting a breakthrough. As soon as we get this little bit, it goes out. Something done broke down. I got to repair this. An emergency happened. A crisis happened. The investment that I made, it dried up. It didn't multiply. It didn't increase as I expected to. I'm talking about personal experience with the wilderness. Wilderness in the marriage. Communication isn't as strong. The love life a little dry. There's been no alone time, no dating. The wilderness. Wilderness with friendships. We don't want to talk. We don't want to text. We don't want to go out. You don't want to be bothered. Or it seems like they chilling and they left you out intentionally. Wilderness. But you have to understand that the wilderness is not there to destroy you. It's not there to kill you. It's not there to break you. In the wilderness, you learn how to walk with God. It said that he grew up, which means that when you're in the wilderness, there is a level of maturity that you should come up to if you process well. As well, this is a place that you are taught on how to abide and to not move and to develop your skill, your fight, and your strategy. You change your mindset when you are in the wilderness. So the Bible talks about Ishmael becoming an archer, a bowman, okay? So he's in the forest, he's in the wilderness, and he's using different equipment in order to kill and to strike prey. Which means that he has to have precision and he has to move skillfully throughout the wilderness. So when you are in your wilderness season, this is your time to develop discipline and self-control. I want to drop some nuggets in here for my single people. It's not going to work or get better when you get married if you don't have no self-control. The purpose of being single, and if you want a man and woman of God, that's going to require for them to be traveling. You're going to have self-control in your spirit. When you are not with him, you're not going to be in the place that you can give yourself sexual gratification. I have to talk about it because it's running rampant in the marriages, thinking because I'm married, I don't got to deal with pornography, I don't got to deal with masturbation, but it comes and it destroys the very essence of a marriage when you don't have self-control. So when we are in our wilderness, single people, it's not the time to sit there and murmur and complain. That is the time to figure out what your skill set is, what your strategy is, what your plan is, and to begin to use it. We all have been given a gift and a purpose, but it's in the place of the wilderness that it is developed and that it begins to manifest and you're able to use it. Whether you like it or not, we all will stand before God on Judgment Day without your spouse. And in the wilderness, you are going to get cut. In the wilderness, there will be correction. In the wilderness, there will be deliverance. This is the process of going from a servant to a son. When their names changed and they had new identities, they were able for the seed to come and be birthed out untainted, undiluted, not contaminated with the lying and the manipulating and the doubtfulness. Media, if you can please post the longer the wait, the greater the wait. So God had showed me, I was a little impatient at times. Being single, I'm like, well, where he at? Where he at? I'm always getting all this prophecy. You're going to be married to your Boaz is coming. He coming, he coming. I'm like, well, where is he at? I said, I've been waiting. I said, some women then got out of a marriage, got back into a marriage, new people coming, getting married within 2-3 months. I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is not adding up, Jesus. The math is not mathing. And so God had to encourage me. And he said, the longer the wait, the greater the weight. So what does this mean? Abraham had to wait a long time. But what he was getting ready to push out and birth was onto nations. So you have got to know that the longer God has you waiting, the greater of the weight you're going to carry, the greater of the impact you're going to make, the greater of the situations you're able to change, the greater of the traveling, the greater of the anointing, the greater of the oil, the greater of the benefits, the greater of the blessings, the greater is the increase, the greater is the multitude. It will be greater. But your waiting is not in vain. So I got some high expectations for whoever he is, because I'm going to ask him, where was you at? What was you doing? Like, you took a long time. Like, I feel like you took like 12 detours. But I know that my man of God is going to have weight.